I'm going to demonstrate a very simple method for forming a dubbing loop. We'd use a dubbing loop when we're using slick materials like some of the synthetics. STS trilobal dubbing is very slick and difficult to dub conventionally. Seals for under hair for polar bear, products like that. So it serves two purposes. We can make a very big, buggy body, as in this pattern, or we can trim it down, and I'll show that in the end, to make a more streamlined type body. The dubbing loop itself is very simple. You simply bring about a foot of thread off the hook and form the bottom of the loop with your index finger on your left hand. Then, to secure it, you're going to bring the bobbin back up to the hook and make 3 or 4 wraps around that. One of the things that you have to look for is you will end up with a space, the width of the hook shank, here where the dubbing loop meets the hook. We want to eliminate that so we don't end up with a loose spot here where the material may come out of. So all we do is bring the bobbin behind or under the hook and around the dubbing loop twice, and that eliminates that space. Now we're ready to put the material in the loop. This is going to be the base that we're going to store the material on. I like to put a little bit of wax on both sides just to help keep it in place, and we're going to use a dubbing twister. This is a dubbing twister on a stem with a series of ball bearings in it. It spins very quickly. It's very smooth. You can get just about any type of dubbing twister you want from your local shop. The springs here act as springs to tighten the loop up once the material is in. So I put a little bit of wax in there, and I'm going to put clumps of this STS trilobal dubbing into the loop to form what's going to be the body. And in the end, what this essentially forms is a very nice, neat, almost chenille type or mohair type of material within this loop. So now that I've got the desired amount, I'm going to start twisting it. And depending on the volume of the material in the loop will determine how much you need to twist it. If you're using a good sturdy thread like this Danville, you can put a little more twist on it. But typically the thread will become quite springy like that. That generally shows you that you're in the ballpark. Then I'll brush it out, get any loose hairs out. You can see the loose hairs falling out of there. And then you're ready to make your body. I'm going to hook a electrical connector up to the bottom and simply cut off my dubbing twister. Advance the thread forward to where you're going to finish the body. Now, for the purposes of this, I don't have any ribbing in there or a tail, but if you were tying a fly, you would have something at the rear of the hook. But in this case, now, if I want to form a buggy stream or like a general practitioner type body, I want to pull the fibers back at both the top and the bottom of each turn, and I'm advancing that forward edge to edge. You can see the core of the dubbing loop is going edge to edge against the last one, and I keep pulling that back, sweeping it back on both the bottom and the top of the turn. If you don't do anything with it, it'll end up going in all different directions, similar to a hackle that's gone awry when you're trying to make a dry fly. But as you can see here, without much work, I've formed a very nice streamlined body that would go nice under a rabbit zonker or polar bear hair, anything you want for a wing. And we'll cut that off. Now, there'll be a few loose hairs in there. We can trim those out again. And this gives you the big buggy body as seen on this pattern, or if you want to make it more streamlined, simply brush it forward so all of the hairs stand up. Take a sharp pair of scissors, cut it off on the bottom, again on the top, and then just trim it up as you need to, and you have a more delicate or smaller, lower profile body that you could rib. That is the results of a good dubbing loop.